That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Jacob Wild, too.
And we are back to talk about the latest installment of Rick and Morty. This is season 4, episode 3. The crew. No, I'm sorry.
One crew over the CrewCoo's Morty.
Thank you, Jacob. One crew over the CrewCoo's Morty. Yeah. This was a quite an ambitious episode on a storytelling point of view. I don't know. I'm a little bit mixed on it. I like it a lot, but by the same point, it is. I don't know. There's definitely stuff to admire about it. I feel like it maybe gets a little too random in certain spots, but I'm curious what your guys' reaction to this one is going to be, because I found it to be really interesting in concept. I thought the ultimate twist at the end was a great punchline to the whole thing. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think it has the wow entertainment factor. But it's still a really interesting concept. That's kind of where I'm coming down on it. Gentlemen.
Okay, I guess I'll go next.
Someone go next, please, by all means.
This episode definitely has an interesting premise. For one. I think it has I think it more stands out based on some individual moments and jokes rather than the actual overall episode itself. I'd say compared to I'd say probably isn't as a whole. I probably wouldn't even like it as much as the previous 2 episodes. Probably the weakest so far. Still a good episode, but I still think it's probably, in my personal opinion, probably the weakest episode of season 4 so far. Which, it's not. Obviously, that's not saying much considering it's only the 3rd one and it's not even that bad to begin with. So, but that's just me.
Yeah. So apparently, the kind of story behind this one is that Dan Harmon was really making fun of the heist genre. He does not care for it at all. Apparently, on his podcast that Dan Harmon does, Harmontown, he's kind of been known for making fun of heist movies and the Now You See Me movies, for example. He has a complete disdain for them.
Now You See Me movies, I know that you like them, Dragon. I'm not sure what your opinion is on them, Jacob, but man, they are just, I'm not saying they're bad movies, but they're just the most cookie cutter heist movies you could possibly get. All right.
I've never seen them, so I don't really have an opinion on them.
Well, regardless. Point being, basically this episode, I don't think this episode's for everyone. And I think if you like the heist genre, I don't think this episode's going to quite land with you. I like the episode, but I don't think it really comes alive until towards the end with the whole Morty, Morty's story and the whole payoff of that thing. That's when the episode really, basically this episode really, it's better. It can only work on a rewatch, if you ask me. That's the thing. The episode only works on a rewatch. And basically, that Morty reveal onward towards the end. That's where the episode is. And I think that's the thing. Tiki, in concept, I think it works. I just feel this thing has for me what you guys have had in the previous 2 episodes, where I don't think things have really dragged that much in the previous 2 episodes. This episode, literally, things dragged for me. Here it was oh yeah, we're just. There's a few points in the episode, especially towards this back and forth of no, I have the twist, no, you have the twist, no, I did the twist, no, all that.
I kind of enjoyed the non-humor of that, the anti-humor, if you will.
I'm saying this one literally felt very redundant in places. It drags in places after we've established the premise, the fun, and then again the payoff is fantastic. Just getting there is it's just taking a while.
This show is known for its genre attacks, and I think this actually does a better job at it than something like Vindicators did.
Look, I do respect the effort put in this. I respect what they're going for. I just don't think it's my cup of tea.
I don't have any likes or dislikes towards the heist genre in general. So, there's some. I know there's probably some good ones out there and some stinkers out there, but it's just that this episode just had fun with the concept, I guess. But there are just some parts that okay, it worked, but in some parts just okay, this is going on, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys want to talk about like the big reveal first off? Just get that out of the way because I think it's clearly the strong point of the episode is just like what exactly Rick's motivation was for all this.
So Morty's been trying to pitch a Netflix series.
It's actually a really achievable goal.
Apparently. And that's the thing. So I love my favorite. So the episode really turns in the positive for me here when Rick's about to basically, they've achieved the goal. They out heisted the robot. What's the robot called? The Heistotron. Is that what? Heistotron.
Yeah.
Outwits the Heistotron, and then we got to get out of the place. You got to fix the Earth where it's placed because in this giant kind of like the storage area in space, it's just ginormous structure. And Morty says, Rick, I gotta. I didn't tell you beforehand, but I have this meeting at Netflix at 3:00 for my screenplay for my script, and they're really interested. And I love the turn on Rick. Where, Morty, it sounds great, man. Let's get you that meal. I'll fix the Earth later. It's fine.
I was even thinking that's uncharacteristically nice of Rick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's when it really had my interest. Okay, where are we going with this? Okay. And Morty has this fantastic pitch with Netflix where it's like the Netflix is seem to be. I love how positive it is towards Netflix here, where it's like they're such pleasant fellows. They really seem like pleasant guys over there. It says, so how's the traffic? Getting over it? Having a good time. I love that they're very reassuring. That Morty, I don't know where this trepidation is coming from. You're doing great, man.
Right. Yeah, this is an excellent pitch, Morty.
So in itself,
in like every heist movie ever.
So in itself, I'm loving that. But then we have the genius turn of the whole thing. This to me is where the whole thing comes together here. We learn that.
And honestly, I feel like this is kind of like this turn unto itself. I feel like warrants the existence of the episode because I do think it does kind of like add a layer of complexity to Rick and Morty's relationship moving forward into the season. And we already saw that Morty wanting to, go off on his own away from Rick and not accompanying Rick on his adventure so much maybe was a thing early on in the season that was causing some tension, even if the tension was as shallow as Rick getting pissed off at Morty having to ask Morty to go. So, some seeds did get planted for this here.
Yes, and as Summer, go on.
This is like Rick's attempt to like revert the status quo back in his favor.
Exactly.
Yes, as Summer pointed out, again, it's an achievable goal. Therefore, Morty could definitely be kind of taken away from Rick in that regard, and it's I think we're continuing that storyline very well.
I still think it's kind of interesting that Netflix would listen to a pitch from a 14-year-old kid.
Well, I've seen some of the Netflix content. I buy it.
I would too.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so that's the thing. I love the fact that he incepted the idea in the Morty that basically made him completely be disillusioned by the heist genre. So he kind of lost his passion. It's so cruel. It's so kind of it's psychologically sadistic, and I love it.
And it was Beth kind of inspired. It was like you're not going to ruin his dream unless it's out of his own disillusionment.
Exactly. So this is the Beth I'm liking here. Beth's taking a stand. If my kid's going to fail, he's going to fail on his own, not because of you.
But then, of course, Rick Sanchez being the genius he is just like, is that a challenge?
That's a genius heist.
It's like, I'll get what I want and disillusion him.
Precisely.
So in a way, I feel like this episode is kind of like part Inception and part Memento.
Well, the Memento's, I guess, in the we go backwards. Most heist movies do kind of go backwards, show you how things happen. So
but that's what I'm saying. The backwards narrative. I mean, it's not as ambitious as Memento.
No, I'm saying I wouldn't go full Memento with the comparison.
Okay, but Inception definitely because it's like a very, very complicated thing that Rick is doing just to implant this simple idea into Morty's head.
Where's the last time we saw Rick and Morty kind of tackle Inception? I want to say it's like the second episode of the series, like third or something. It was like third, I guess.
Harry, everyone's favorite side character.
Exactly. And that thing, I heard also that Harmon hates Inception, so that bums me out. I gotta be honest, but
man.
I think another thing is like every time I think I want to listen to Harmon, it's like any he rants about Inception, like I don't want to listen to that.
He also apologized for his script to Monster House, apparently.
That's a thing too. I guess, like, yeah, I think he did
like he said they wanted it more scary and he didn't want it to do so. Apparently,
yeah. Anywho,
so
well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. So this is what I'm saying to you. I think on the rewatch, this episode works so much better because again, that
Right.
payoff is fantastic. And again, that thing makes I can't come down the episode because that payoff is so fantastic. And again, it kind of justifies the stuff I had to sit through. But again, the beginning, I'm sold from the beginning. Honestly, let me circle back to the beginning. Let's go full memento with our structure here. If you want to go the memento right here, okay, let's go backwards.
See, I have this condition.
Yes, Lenny. Okay, anyway, so so I love HeistCon. HeistCon to me is a fun idea. You know me, I'm a sucker for gadgets, and of course you can see a lot of gadgets within a heist thing, of course. And the point being a lot of fun there. And I love the sell for me is like, look at how petty Rick is that to get into the HeistCon, he's going to just because he won't pay for general admission. He won't go settle for guests. He has to get the professional badges. And the only way he's going to do that is by assembling a crew. And we do this classic kind of heist movie, assembling the crew. Like, oh, you SOB. Like, yeah. Rick's.
Can I just point out? I love how he tried to sneak in and they got Morty injured. like instead of going in first, he sent Morty.
Yep.
Like he probably anticipated that kind of thing.
Yep. And it's fact, honestly, like the episode to me, a part of me wishes it kind of ended or at least got closer to the end when Rick finally he walks in with his crew, they get the badges, says, okay, what's the job? No, that's it, we're done.
That was it.
That's what I'm talking about. That to me, I love that. But then the episode kind of keeps going. We get in the whole the Heist-o-tron. Basically, when the Heist-o-tron enters the picture after the initial,
honestly felt like it kind of felt like a weird Futurama fever dream almost.
The problem is the Heist-o-tron just keeps going. I love the introduction of Heist-o-tron. Like, okay, Rick is using a machine to do his heist, which makes sense with this thing. It kind of allows him to do everything, kind of besmirch all the intricacies and all the finesse of heist. But after that, though, it just keeps going. Like, okay, we rip Justin Theroux's character to pieces, and it just keeps going, and it's like, okay, now it's gone completely off the rails, and like he's literally heisting planets at this point. It gets ridiculous. I'll admit the heisting the planet thing is just ridiculous and kind of insane and fun. But it just keeps going.
And then there are definitely several standout moments in this episode too. Like some of the I love that was it. I love that part got like a big laugh out of me.
That's what I'm saying. I think they kind of had a high note there. They should have left it at that point. I'm not saying they should have entirely ended the episode there, but that's kind of your high point of like the whole heisting concept.
And also, how he based like Heist-o-tron, like the 2 heist movies he slept through, and he based Random-tron of the 3 David Lynch movies he pretended to like, so his friends would shut up.
Yep.
Okay, can I also just make a statement that he is very, very, very accurate that Ocean's 12 is the worst of the Ocean's movies?
See,
Ocean's 13 has Pacino, man, and good Pacino. Not great Pacino, not Oscar-worthy Pacino, but a Pacino who's trying, darn it.
You guys ever see the original Ocean's movies before the remakes of Clooney?
No, I haven't, actually.
It's pretty solid. I like it.
All right.
What about Ocean's 8? Has anyone seen that?
No, I can't say that I have.
Me neither.
I'm not that desperate. Anyway.
Oh, God. Well, hey now,
it's... Anyway. All right, so the crew itself, the crew is awesome, but both crews that Rick assembles, both the random crew and
Rick Sanchez, you son of a bitch.
So one of my favorites.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
So okay, in this initial one, Angie Flint, in the photo we have in front of us here to the very left, Angie Flint. So 2 things. Okay, so one, I love her gimmick with all the hands. Yes, is awesome.
She totally looks like Nathan Drake's love interest.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what she's actually based? You're gonna love this, Tiki. I guess you didn't hear about this. You know who she's modeled after?
Who? So
she's kind of a cross between 2 people. But she's primarily initially. The direction was to make it Lara Croft, but then there was a miscommunication in the animation model. He says, well, that's Lara Croft. Well, we actually meant Laura Dern.
Oh my god!
So
that's
she's
great.
she's specifically, especially in the face, as
Kind
you
of like
can
a little
tell.
bit of a mix of Laura Croft and Laura Dern.
That's what I'm saying.
almost.
Like that's essentially what they're going for there. But it's
Like Laura
mostly
Croft in the outfit, Laura Dern in the face and the hair.
that's the thing because initially it was kind of a mishearing of Laura Dern that made it Laura Croft. It's no, we meant
Oh
Laura
yeah,
Dern, and that's why that basically
Laura
like
Dern
three
Croft.
passes. It's three passes of Dern. That's kind of what you get before you hear.
By the way, Laura Dern also getting some major Oscar hype for Marriage Story. Definitely can't wait to see that one when it drops
Oh,
on that.
I didn't know she was in that. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also, Dragon, Irishman is dropping on Netflix like imminently. Like you're gonna get the chance to sit down with that very soon. Just saying.
All right.
Anyways.
Anywho, boys, Laura Dern with that purple hair is kind of a victory in any sense.
Do you think in Jurassic World she's just gonna have like random streaks of purple in her hair just because?
That'd be a mistake. Anyway,
She'd be like an aging hippie mom.
okay, let's see. So you have Angie Flynn. Of course, I love the hand thing with her design. I love how she has these awesome designed hands. They're basically very impractical, but they look so cool.
Kind of just like a crazy like Edward Scissorhands on steroids.
Kind of Edward Scissorhands meets Alita Battle Angel. Little.
Right.
Anywho, so you have Trucula.
Oh God, I love Trucula.
And,
I mean, there's not a lot you can do with Trucula outside of the one joke, but you know, it's
the only downside to these characters is you don't see more of them. Like they always create these interesting characters, and they only use them for like a single scene, then they're never heard from again.
But like Bird Person, they could come back.
That's I'm kind of on both your points here. I do think one of the flaws of the episode is that we do introduce so many characters that it starts to become like, okay, who are we actually going to follow? Who's just going to drop off? But then again, I feel like that's almost kind of part of the storytelling gimmick of the episode. It's kind of like meant to throw you off.
And
Like,
I mean, and my main thing is like the entire show does that. So,
Yeah. But of course, some of the other ones from Rick's second gang also, I think they get even better with the random guys because we have Ventriloquiver, which is such a ridiculous.
The random gang is my favorite grouping.
Yeah, they're cool.
I love the concept of Ventriloquiver, even if
Ventriloquiver,
silly. Even if the concept like only appears briefly, it was like I love that.
Has to shoot you with an arrow to do the ventral.
And of course, Ventriloquiver also discovers a plot twist in this episode, so she has stuff to do.
Yes. Then of course we have the epic return.
Oh my God!
Of Mr. Poopy Butthole, or no, let me rephrase that. Professor Poopy Butthole.
Yes.
Well, he's no longer a professor at the end, though.
No, yeah, that's the thing. So he's kind of I guess until like former professor Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Okay, I love how the reintroduction of Mr. Poopy Butthole is literally just him drawing, like spelling out ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee!
I bet you're gonna get tired hearing that.
Like I feel like his class is like only like about 5 students big, just because like he's like most people in the I'm just like using my own headcanon here, but I feel like most people in the college kind of like, know Mr. Poopy Butthole to be like, what the fuck is this guy, like this ooh-wee guy. But then the people that actually do take his class, they're like the 1% that get his humor, like they're the really off-brand indie kids.
I like to think before he pummeled them senseless, I like to think I'd like to think he was actually a good teacher.
I really do think he's genuinely a good teacher, and it's just Rick kind of like got him into this circumstance.
Love that we've seen Mr. Poopy Butthole's like home life. He's got a wife and kid. He's been through this traumatizing.
Is honestly one of the biggest like character arcs of the series, which
he's had a near-death experience. He then like found family, and now he's kind of like trying to give back to the community in the sense of education. He's lost that, and it's fascinating.
Well, he did promise he did say we'd see more of him.
He did. He did. Of course, the other one, Elon Tusk.
Oh my God!
So, if you're wondering, they did in fact get Elon Musk for this.
Yes.
Which is fascinating to me. I just love that they, Mr. Tesla himself.
It'd be like if they got Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Well,
I just love that it's like Elon Musk with Tusk. I just love it. It's literally what it is. Just him with like bad teeth.
And who's the other guy? The guy based on Prometheus.
Well, remember, it's literally is it Hephaestus or is it like
Yeah, Hephaestus. Yeah, Hephaestus.
it's like literally Hephaestus? Like the guy who makes the all the weaponry for the.
Yeah, Hephaestus. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, point is the random crew. They're a lot of fun in concept as well. But this is what I'm talking about. We assemble them, and then it just moves like, oh, you SOB, you son of a, all that.
The part where it goes off the rails for me is when it's just like, okay, like Rick's mind controlling everyone to join his crew, and it's just like everyone saying, "Rick, you son of a bitch," and.
I love the scale of that initial reveal. I love how just our main guy here, Justin Theroux's character, the I'm trying to remember what the guy's name is. Miles.
You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you.
Knight something? Is it Miles? Knightley? Miles Knightley?
That sounds right. That sounds right.
I think it's Miles Knightley. Point not Miles Knightley here. I love how. I heard they modeled him after Freddie Mercury, which is hysterical if that's the case.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Miles Knightley here. I love how he's. So basically, I love his reaction, just like this sheer scale of Rick just kind of trying to curb stomp the heist genre, showing him how easy it is. Where I love his Rick's philosophy. It's not about stealing; it's about the stuff. It's about getting the stuff versus like the whole finesse of stealing it and making a big show of it, and just like the sheer scale of the episode, which it gets to this point, then of course when you have Heist-O-Tron, like literally heisting a whole plant very poorly, by the way, just like you drop off the peak. But the elaboracy of this giant structure bigger than a plant, like dropping like a hidden camera and then a pizza that's rigged. It's just ridiculous.
Here's the pizza you ordered, and he's like, I don't think they suspected a thing.
It's ridiculous. And that stuff's fine, but again, it's just the point where, okay, now it's like this war between Rick and Heist-O-Tron, and it just goes on and on. And let me put it this way. I think the fatal flaw of the episode, again, the episode's fine, don't get me wrong. There's nothing really wrong with the episode, but it just drags, and it kind of in the middle there. And the fatal flaw is that there's a point where you become your parody. You never want that to happen. It's like Teen Titans Go. They became their parody, and that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically when you become the thing you're lampooning when you don't mean to. You want to be the smart guy and saying, okay, this is what they do, but now we've fallen into it. It's like now it's like you become the tedious thing that you're making fun of how tedious it is. That's what it becomes. You
become the very thing you were sworn to destroy.
Exactly, and that's I think that kind of defeats what they're going for there until we have the ultimate, like, okay, this is why it was a heist thing all along. It makes sense. Yeah. Also, we had the Doctor Strange gag in this one.
Yes, that was fun. That was fun.
Lab coat
rip off Doctor Strange.
Lab coat and rip off.
Oh, by the way, with the gadgets. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh well, I love the anti-booby trap suits. So basically, the whole thing starts off when basically Rick's adventure was kind of ripped off by Miles Knightley, and that's what kind of triggered. He remembers this guy.
I beat recreation of the temple from Raiders of the Lost Ark, if I'm not mistaken.
In essence, yeah. In essence, it kind of ends
maybe not everything in order, but it's definitely like everything that's there, like the poison darts, the boulders, the snake.
It kind of feels like, what if Raiders of the Lost Ark was crossed with Alien? There's a little bit of H.R. Giger built in there. I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
Kind of a mix.
Complete waste of snakes.
That's the thing. So yeah, I love the anti-booby trap suits. You literally walk through all the booby traps. It's genius. And of course, I think one of the smart gags in the whole thing is the ointment gag. The idea, okay, just after Morty gets zapped, when he just like pushed him into the portal.
Like only wear it for 10 minutes, Morty. Don't wear it for 12. I'll have to see what you become.
God, hysterical.
Like, damn it, Morty! What did I tell you?
God.
Well, here's the thing. What happens with 11 minutes?
I think it's fine. 11 minutes is fine.
It's like that's the buffer area.
Yeah, it's the buffer. Yeah, see, there's any time to get it off.
Yellow light.
Yeah.
My favorite like laugh out loud moment of the episode is when the crowd just kind of like tears apart Thoreau's character, and Rick has a genuinely kind of like, oh God, like that's It's intense even for me, Morty, and that's not on me.
As Miles gets George Romero'd, I do love the detail. As horrific as this, I love like I love how they soften with the fact, oh, he has gold bones. What do you know?
It's like, that's not on me, Morty. I mean, technically, it kind of is, but
Oh yeah, man, he just wanted to get crap on his hands. He didn't want him to be torn apart George Romero style.
yeah, I mean, true, but I mean, he just didn't foresee it, being eviscerated.
I had a really disturbing headcanon thing with Rick. It's too gross to share here, but it's ridiculous.
Oh God, okay.
Anyway.
All right.
So, yeah, I think pretty much run its course in the conversation then.
Yeah, I mean, we already talked about the ending, so.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we think? How do we think Mr. Poopy Butthole and Rick are going to make amends now that Rick has cost him his job?
I mean, despite everything, he seemed fine with Rick. I mean, they seemed like they were amicable at best.
The real question is if he's ever going to fix things with Beth. That's the real question.
Oh God, that is the real question. That's the arc of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows if Beth will find out what happened? I mean, she might suspect Rick has something to do with it, or no, or who knows?
I mean, the fact that Beth shot him. I mean, that whole thing.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about it, guys.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Well, thoughts. It's solid enough. I think they kind of defeated their own parody in the midst of things. I'm not despite the fact that I like the heist genre. I'm not saying that's why it didn't quite grab me. I mean, again, I think it's quite smart what they're saying at the start of things, and of course, Rick Sanchez, who hates practically everything, makes sense. He wouldn't be crazy about the heist genre. It's all this extra work and mocking the whole the assemblage of the heist and everything, and then it's really easy if you really just kind of cut it. Exactly, that's what it all boils down to. It's all you're so and so, the whole thing, yeah. It's the old and of course the little trappings too, the one guy with the name change. He's like, I play the piano now.
Oh God.
Then he instantly switched back.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. That sort of stuff.
He's
so
basically like Mac from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Sure. Anyway, so I guess what I'm saying is I do like thematically. I heard that they're saying this. The people who worked on the show they're saying this season's gonna be the best one, as you would say with anything yet. But I'm saying a lot of them are saying this season's not gonna be as dark as 3, but it's gonna go. It's going to go to some interesting place, and I think the through line is going to be this Morty and Rick trying to get dominance over the family in a different way, and I think the stuff like we did with the Morty reveal, I think is getting us in that direction in really interesting ways. We'll see how that goes. Again, the episode didn't. I was a little shaky in places, but let me put it this way: it was shaky, but it wasn't a Jerry bit, so I'm not complaining. So
All right, fair enough. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. We will be back again next week for season 4, episode 4. Can't wait for that.
I think it goes on break next week.
Oh, does it really?
Just for a week, though. I think it comes back.
Well, never mind, folks. We will not be back next week. In the meantime, you can catch our coverage of Disney Plus, our weekly recap show, Plus and Us, every Sunday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, where we recap The Mandalorian, rolled according to Jeff Goldblum, and The Imagineering Story. Very exciting stuff here. Very exciting stuff. Yes. All right. And also, Dragon, do you want to advertise some little Thanksgiving offering that we're doing?
Yes, folks. Coming soon, because Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Thanksgiving! It's Thanksgiving!
Now, I don't even think we should tell the folks what films we're talking about for Thanksgiving yet. I think we should make it a surprise, Dragon.
We're going to give you 2 helpings of Thanksgiving, folks. Bring a hearty appetite.
Not 1, but 2.
The turkey and the stuffing.
Yes. Or turkey and a pie.
Weirdly, we're going to talk about a weird Bernie Sanders Thanksgiving sketch for the grab bag.
So kind of a trifecta of Thanksgiving, but importantly, two-thirds Thanksgiving.
All right. Should be very exciting. Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching, and have a good night, everyone. See you later.
Ooh,